Thanks for joining us today for our Senior Day press conference. We'll get started with some brief opening remarks from head coach Kenny Brooks, and then we'll open it up to questions.
I can't believe it's here. Obviously, seems like the season has flown by, and it seems like just like yesterday we were, recruiting both of these young women to come to Kentucky. And you go through the summer, and then you're starting to get acclimated to everything around you, and all of a sudden you hit the season, and boom, you're doing a press conference for Senior Day. But really proud of these two and what they've accomplished in a short amount of time, the chemistry that they've created not only with each other but with the rest of the group. Their leadership has been phenomenal, which has given us an opportunity to be successful. But I think the best thing is when you reflect back on like their season, and for them it's unusual because they've only been here for a year, but like just them as people and how they touch your lives as people. And obviously I haven't known Deja as long as I have Georgia, but Deja's going to be successful whatever she does. I'm convinced of that. She's a wonderful person, and she's a competitor. She's a leader. She has the it factor. She knows how to read a room, and that's what's going to make her extremely successful, whatever she decides to do. And then obviously my relationship with Georgia has gone back a long, long time, so it's going to be a little tough. It's going to be a little tough. Last year we had Senior Day, and we gave her a jersey, and I kind of knew she was coming back a little bit, but so it wasn't as tough. But this one's it. And but very proud of them for what they've done. They both took leaps of faith in trusting in me and what we could accomplish here if we put our minds to it. And forever grateful for them for that. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the game on Sunday. It should be a great atmosphere, and they deserve to be able to play in front of it.
We'll start with Caroline.
This is for Georgia and Deja. You guys choosing to finish your careers here, embrace a leadership role. What have you learned from each other doing this kind of similar role together?
I'll go first because I can 100% say, Deja's brought a different side of leadership out in me. She's the more vocal kind. I think I was always a by example type of person and never necessarily had that as big of a voice as I wish I wanted earlier, but she does, and she brought it out in me for sure. So it's been a pleasure just to watch her and how, she leads with what she says, how she says it. She's very articulate, very intelligent, and she just, I don't see her not get along with anyone. So I think that's really special about her and something that I've learned from her.
Oh, thanks, G. I can say the main thing that I've really learned from G is just showing up every day and giving your best no matter what you're going through. She has done a phenomenal job of just showing up and being the best version of herself every day. So that's something that I can definitely take with me for the rest of my life and just use that as an example that I can take down to whatever I do next.
The tradition here on Senior Day is to play the song My Old Kentucky Home, and then everybody cries. The coach may cry, but you two don't seem like the crying kind. What are the chances we might see a tear shed?
I think we're pretty emotional.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We're emotional.
Definitely, you might see a few tears from me. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think Deja and I, we are, and not just to throw it out there, we're both Aries.
Mm-hmm.
So we're both I would say put on a strong front, and I see it with Deja, and she's so strong, and I see a lot of her in myself, and I think when we really sit down, reflect, and let the emotions come, they'll come. But I think we're both competitors, and I think on a day like Sunday is going to be it's going to be perfect for us because I think that we're capable to kind of put things aside and get to business and celebrate after.
For sure, I agree with everything she says. I think we have a vulnerable side to us, and when it's time, it's going to come out, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot of tears, tissues, just ugly cries.
Questions?
Coach, how have you learned to deal with the days of a senior day, especially when you've got a big game to get ready for and to make sure that you're honored, but at the same time, business end?
Yeah, for me, fortunately, it's not the first time I've gone through Senior Day with groups that are very special to me. I remember one time we were at James Madison, and we were a really good basketball team, but it was the first class that I ever signed, and it was their senior night, and we were on the cusp of having an at-large bid opportunity, and we were playing against a team, and I remember I walked in and there was a bunch of crying before the game, and you want to embrace it because there's a lot of emotions of everything that you've gone through. And I remember we got down 6-0, and then it was 8-0. I called a timeout and I said, okay, we got to get to going, and we got down 12-0. And I'm like, all right, cut the crap, let's go. We got to play basketball. But it's emotional because these kids, they go through, and you try to tell them all the time, enjoy it, enjoy what you're going through, because soon it's over, and you have to embrace it, and you have to understand it, and I think when they do that on senior night, it really gives them an opportunity to reflect about what they've gone through, where they are, what they have. So it's very emotional, but you have to put it aside, because obviously when you have an opponent like LSU. You can't afford to spot them anything because of emotion, and you got to be able to go, and hopefully you turn that emotion into something that's exciting and gets you pumped up, or you play above your expectation and not below it.
Coach, you've mentioned time and time before about how Georgia has kind of impacted your view on coaching, but your first year at Kentucky, 25 games in, 21 wins. What have these two shown you, if anything, this year?
You know what? We adopted a motto of stop and smell the roses a couple of years when we went to the Final Four. And that just changed my perspective on a lot, and with Georgia, obviously, we have a history together. She's my mini-me. She's like my fourth daughter. She's around a lot. And I think we made a pact this year to just really enjoy each other and, and not take it for granted. And, she sent me a meme one time, I think, or just a quote a couple weeks ago, I think it was. And it said, essentially it was, don't look past what you're going through right now, because this is what you prayed for. And, you're looking towards the future, and you don't understand that you're in what you prayed for. And we both just sit back, and I think this year has been special. We spent probably a lot more time together, whether it's watching film, drinking coffee, just doing whatever, talking about her future, talking about the present, because she took a leap of faith, to come follow me here, not knowing, she came here not knowing that Deja was going to come here and be a great running mate with her. And then, recruiting Deja, my only question was, why didn't I coach her earlier? And it's funny because she sent me a picture that kind of just made me chuckle. It was her guarding Kayla King, who played for me, who went to the Final Four, and Liz Kitley was in the background. And they were playing against each other, and I just started reminiscing, or just kind of fantasizing. What if she was with us, during those runs? What if she was with us earlier? Because not only is she my type player on the floor, but she's not my type person, and she comes in and she sacrificed a lot. What did you average, 100 points a game at Charlotte? And she sacrificed to come to this level and sacrificed a little bit of herself so she could play at a high level. And again, took a leap of faith and trusted in me because she had, overtures from a lot of different people. And I'm glad she did, because she's a perfect fit. And it kind of goes back to when we talk about, sometimes kids can average, 30, 40 points a game, or I'm exaggerating a little bit, but they're not the right fit for your program. And she was the right fit. When I talked to her on the phone for the very first time, I knew she was who we wanted. And we went after her pretty hard. And when she decided to come to Kentucky, we knew we got somebody that was going to be special, was going to help us a lot of way to help build a culture. To help build a culture. You didn't just want to these two young ladies are here. They're here for 1 year. I didn't just want them to come in and help us build a super team. I wanted them to help us build culture. And what they have established, Clara Strack, Tiani Key, Amelia Hassett, all of them will learn from their leadership styles, and they'll carry it on and put their own spin and twist on it.
You mentioned smell the roses. Over the next couple of weeks, those roses can get a lot bigger if you get certain wins down the stretch. And I know it's human nature to look and see, well, we might go here, we might go here. But if you get these wins, how much greater can the seating be, or all of that stuff down the road?
I promise you guys, and this is not coach talk, it's not coach speak. We look at today, and I've found out. I used to do that. I used to look ahead at, well, if we get 2 out of 3, or if we win these last 3 games, if we do this, this can happen, this can happen, and you waste so much time thinking about it, and sometimes you lose focus of what you really need to do in that moment. And part of stopping and smelling the roses is enjoying what you're doing today. And today we watch film with the staff, and you enjoy that. Put to rest what we did against Missouri, and let's get ready for LSU. And I find that you're a much better basketball team. You're much better focused if you just look at everything one day at a time. Kids are more focused. We put on our scout. We give them a scout every game, and we used to do a lot of motivational speeches or quotes, and it probably resonated with the kids. What, maybe 20 seconds? They read it. You know how their attention spans are. And we stopped, and then what we put on a scout every day for probably like the last 3 years is 1-0. Go 1-0. And if you can focus on today, everything else will take care of itself. And so, I do know what we have on the horizon, but we don't focus on it. And we're just really locked in right now on LSU and taking it one game at a time and enjoying what we're going through.
We can all agree that careers just fly by. I mean, life flies by in general. When you're old like me, you really appreciate that. But what's the best piece of advice that you can give to somebody like a Clara or a Lexi or some of these younger players?
Me or them? Okay.
I think the theme, just enjoy the journey. Everybody's journey is different. Don't compare yourself or your journey to anybody else's. Just keep doing the work, and the work will pay off, but remember to stay in the present moment.
Yeah, I could speak on that because I think my journey's different. I don't think I had a star. Like, I wasn't recruited like that, and then just like making the most out of every single year I had. But I think, you as a junior or a sophomore or a freshman, you start panicking about what you're done, what you're not so good at. But then I find myself now laughing about or joking about who I was my freshman year. Like, yes, I turned it over against Louisville, against Dana Evans, and we lost the game. I laugh at that now, but in that time it was miserable. So it's like, it's all lessons if you look at it like lessons, like find the silver linings. The smelling the roses has been phenomenal for me. So it's, make the silver linings, change the perspective.
Coach, what have you seen lately from Jordan and Dom? How are they doing? How are they coming along?
They're great. They're both more mobile now. Jordan is actually progressing to 1-on-1s, 2-on-2s, and I just salivate when I watch her, man. Like, she's good. She's really good, and she's exactly what we need. She just has that it factor. She's big. She's strong. She can shoot the 3. Her basketball IQ is really high, and her movements are just, probably I don't know if I've seen movements like that from a wing. And so she's progressing. We've had to taper her down a little bit because she wants to go full bore when we have to, calm her down. Dom same way. Dom is working hard. She just got cleared to, shoot jump shots now. And Dom's one of the hardest working people I've ever seen. And she just wants to go and attack the day. And, sometimes she's overzealous and we have to pull her back a little bit. But just their mentality, I think both of them sitting and watching is painful at the moment, but I think they're going to benefit from it later on because I think they're seeing things with a different perspective in a way that's going to help them down the line. Now, again, we would love to have them. And if we had them, we can only wish and then wonder what we would be. But at the same time, I love who we are right now. And, the way that they've really stepped up and overcame adversity, I don't know how much better we can be than 21-4, even with them. But I'm excited about their progress. I'm excited where they are. I'm excited about their future.
For Georgia and Deja, I know you guys have only been here for just a quick season, but if you kind of just look back, what's been the best part at being at Kentucky?
You can go.
I think for me, it's been the competition. You know, it's been everything that's kind of thrown at us. It's exactly what I needed and wanted. It's been the most like mentally challenging part of my career, but I needed it because I've grown so much. I mean, you move, like that's one aspect. You're in a new area, you have to make new connections. You have to learn the town and the people, build that culture, like Coach Brooks has been saying. And then you have to play in the SEC. And then, I mean, for me, I'm facing different coverages I've never seen before. We're facing teams that are physical and deep. So day by day, it's a new challenge that has been presented. So I think I've just grown so much. And I think looking back on my college career, like, obviously we went to Final Fours. Obviously I won conference championships with Coach Brooks. But, like, this year's, to tip off my senior years, it's exactly what I needed, and I'll be grateful for it.
Yeah, just to echo what Georgia said, especially coming from a mid-major, I think just the competition in the SEC has definitely allowed me to up my game a lot, and especially playing with Georgia. Just Coach Brooks told me that when I committed that Georgia's going to make you a better player, and I think playing with her has definitely made me a better player and a leader, and also just getting to know my teammates. Being under Coach Brooks for the first year, I've had a great experience here, and I'm just really grateful. I'm excited. I've been excited the whole year about when I first came here and just the rest of the journey that we have together. So just the community, like G said, and just spending time with the rest of the team for the time that we have left.
It's kind of that question, but I'll ask it differently. The next 3 weeks, or the next week, I should say, week and a half, next 3 games, you guys have an opportunity to do something here that's only been done a couple of times. You just kind of answered it of why you came here, but do you understand what's in front of you and what's within your grasp playing Tennessee, LSU, and South Carolina the next 3 games?
I mean, to echo off of what he said, it's day by day. Like, I haven't really, and I don't know if it's because I'm thinking like that or because I don't want time to go too fast, but I seriously, like, no, I'm very present right now.
Yeah, that's the message always, like one game at a time, just staying present what's in front of us.
We'll go Carolina, and then we'll go Carolina, Dawn, and I think we'll begin.
Coach, and also Georgia, Deja, you have not played against the Kim Mulkey coach team, correct?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. So Coach in Georgia, you've done it a couple times. Obviously Final Four, but I know last year LSU, you guys played LSU. Can you talk about sorry?
And Baylor.
Her freshman year, yeah.
Okay, so you're well versed. Will you guys talk about preparing for playing against her team, her system, and what you're excited for on Sunday?
I mean, all I can remember playing against the teams that she's coached, you know, they're tough. They find a way to get it done. Rebound, push the tempo, be physical. And they've always had just skilled guards that can get hot and create buckets one-on-one. And I think, you know, thinking about the games we played last year, we were just watching it. We were in it till what? End of the second quarter, and I think we lost our minds because we weren't hitting open shots. We had opportunities, and I think defensively we pride ourselves on, you know, pack line and playing as a team. So, I mean, it's as it always is. It's going to be a full team effort, and just like any SEC game, you know, you got to match the physicality, and I think, you know, they feed off of their energy that they create. Whether that be the players, whether that be whoever's sitting on that bench, whoever travels to watch them play, you know, they feed off that energy that they generate. So whatever we have to do to either keep that energy down or give it back and have that energy ourselves, that's obviously a big factor into what they do.
You know, it's funny because, like, a lot of people from my hometown or, you know, just people who see me casually, they always want to know about Kim Mulkey, you know. Do you like her? How is she? And her persona that she puts out, she's a master manipulator. You know, she's going to make everybody who wears purple and gold love her, and she's going to make everybody else hate her. And but she's the biggest teddy bear. She's very nice. She's very nice to me. She's always been very kind with the things that she said, offering up advice. I remember when we played against them. I played against her, I think, coached against her 4 times, once at James Madison, the other 3 at Virginia Tech. And when she was at Baylor, we played in the tournament in the bubble. And and Georgia was a freshman. Liz Kitley was a sophomore, and we were just finding our way and getting pretty good. It was the second round of the tournament, and she pumped her kids up. They had like 3 or 4 WNBA players on that team, and she pumped them up, and they punked us. They annihilated us. They beat us really bad. And I remember she talked to me after, and we had masks on, and she said, I know you're smiling up underneath that mask because you got a great group, you got a great team, and you guys are going to be great. And she's very complimentary, and lo and behold, 2 years later, we meet them in the Final Four. And again, very complimentary. She's introduced me to her president. She's wonderful for our game. Everyone, everything needs a villain. Whether it's the Yankees or the Cowboys, or you have that. She manipulates that, but she's the biggest teddy bear. She's a great coach. She gets the most out of her kids. You're going to be in a battle because they're very physical. They're very talented. They know their game plan. Coach Starkey is on that staff. I have the utmost respect for him and what he does, how he scouts, how he helps that program. And so they're like a traveling rock band. And wherever she is, she's going to bring the juice, and everybody's going to be excited, and places are going to be packed and crowded and loud. And I'm just fortunate. The one thing that I've never done is played her on my home court. I've always had to go. It's either neutral or at her place. So we're excited. We're excited that we put ourselves in this position. We're excited that we're able to compete at a very high level. But Kim Mulkey is she's a champion. She's done it at 2 different places, and it's fun to compete against her because just the aura and the whole building. Just when she walks into it, whether it's people can't wait to see how she acts or whether they can't wait to see what she wears. It's going to be an adventure, and so I'm excited. I'm excited that we're in this position that we're in to be able to play meaningful games the last week of the season.
Deja, do you have anything to follow up? Okay, we'll end with John.
Yeah, Kenny, last night I asked you if there were maybe 2 or 3 areas of weakness that we should be looking specifically for improvement in the remaining 3 games, and you told me you knew, but if you told me, you'd have to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
I've considered it, and I'm willing to take the risk.
No, you are.
What are those areas?
Well, if it's any consolation, I'd be willing to kill you without telling you. So. It's when you ask a coach what their weaknesses are in February, I don't even know. Like, everybody has weaknesses. Everybody has them. LSU has weaknesses, and Kim Mulkey's not going to sit up here and tell you what they are. We have areas, and we don't even like to call them weaknesses. We have areas that we know we're not as strong in, okay? And that's a different way of saying it. We know who we are. We know what we're capable of. You get to the end of the year, and fatigue sets in on everybody. So it's a pounding that Clara Strack takes, or Tiani, or Amelia Hassett, or it's who you're playing. All right. The glaring thing is everyone knows we need to rebound better, but you when you get to February, I promise you're going to continue to work to get better in every area. It's not just the rebounding. We shoot every day. We probably shoot more than any team in the country. We shoot, and so therefore one of our strengths are we're very efficient. I think we shot 53% last night. And the bottom line when you get to February is, we would love to win and dominate the boards and have more assists and have less turnovers and have, more blocks and everything. But at this point in the year, it's like almost like survive in advance. You play hard, you win the game. I listened to the Iowa coach the other day. She says, I'd much rather win ugly than to lose pretty. And, so these kids are battling. They're tired. to say that, you know, I'm pleased with this group. I love coming to work with this group every day. We have smiles. They have fun. They love being around each other. And yeah, we know what we need to work on. So I know I just went 4 minutes and didn't answer your question, but I'm pretty good at that sometimes. But we just need we know what we need to work on for each individual game to try to get better.
Are you gonna come out in sequins or feathers, or what are you gonna wear?
Yeah. Yeah, no. No, not my style at all. So no, absolutely not. I wore a tie for the first time. I had to do a commercial. Did you guys see my Paul Miller Mazda Ford commercial? It's pretty good, huh? By the end of that day, I was annoyed. But anyway, because that's the first